Hello, everyone. How you all doing? I just want to make an interesting video and just put my spin on these uh memes. I don't know what you call them. I went to these conservative um, posts, websites. No, not websites, but these Facebook page. I got them from Facebook page. I got them from Thread and Instagram. And I said, these are pretty interesting because I have some from the left and the right. And I've seen this one, and I'm like, it says illegal immigrants do the things Americans don't want to do, and that's voting for Democrats. Now, you know that's misleading and you know it's false because you have, I hate saying it, but this is what they call them, illegal immigrants who can't even vote because you have to prove you are a citizen to even vote. What they're scared of is them benefiting from the Democrats' policies. That's what they hate the most. And you see how they have AOC's picture up there. They are trying to associate her as being an immigrant. Whereas we keep telling these folks, we all immigrants. If you're not an Indian heritage, we all immigrants in this country. Oh boy. And let's see, here's another one. There could be any number of reasons as to why the black folks are not visible on TV and running to help your country and yourself. Report all foreign invaders. ICE. Foreign invaders. Once again, who is the foreign invader? The Europeans. They came over here and stole this land and then stole us and brought us over here to do their work that they not only just lazy, but didn't want to pay. They wanted free labor so they can get rich. I mean, just think about it. Just think about if Walmart didn't have to pay none of his workers who own Walmart, didn't have to pay none of their workers. That is $1 million in his pocket, damn near every month. The reason why we didn't do that, where it was slavery, and every race had slaves, but we weren't going over there stealing people. Here's another one I found pretty interesting. Only traders defend invaders.
NBA teams have had a reported interest in trading for the two-time NBA champion, including the Houston Rockets and Miami.
Why are we talking so much about immigrants? It's a political advantage because you have one side that is just into demonizing people and getting political points. Then you have another side who is into trying to solve it. Now, I'm sure when these people come over here, don't want to have to hide and be in fear of being deported to somewhere where evidently they didn't feel safe. I'm sure they would love to get the papers that they need to become full-blown citizens. Whereas we are seeing that even being a citizen here in this country is not all that they wanted to pretend to be. How many came over here? All those 19 kids that got killed down there in Texas, they didn't come over here to get that. They was running away from fear and violence and come over here and died by violence. This place is no safer than really some other countries. But you do have better opportunities, they say. A lot of us, we didn't have no choice. Our ancestors were stolen and made to come over here, and we just pretty much stuck over here. Because we can't go over there and just fit right on in. Because for one thing, they still colonized over there. They still being taught, but they rising up now. And then they got nuisance face. And then they got this picture of this man up here. We don't know who that is. It could be one of them with that Mexican sign up. You can't believe everything you see. You can't believe everything you hear. And there's nothing wrong with still having pride in your nationality. Because in their mind, they think, well, you love Mexicans so bad, why don't you go back? People just can't stay out of other people's business. I always want to try to tell people how to live and what to think. Now, what I thought about this was very disturbing. I thought. From jail cell to Congress. They gotta bring up something because everybody say that about Trump being a criminal. Well, we was right there. It's in the newspaper. Everybody around the world knows he's a criminal. He's been indicted, been found guilty of 34 counts of fraud, and impeached twice, and fraud of a university where he had to pay a judgment, and found guilty of sexual assault, and has been known to be friends of a known pedophile, sex trafficker. How do you be friends with somebody like that and you're not one? Now, he's saying, whoever just put this up, arrested 23 times and then got a question mark behind it. Daughter of Somalian terrorists. committed marriage and immigration fraud. ISIS and Al Qaeda sympathizer. And then they're going to write it Hamas, making a mockery of the U.S. government. You don't think being a criminal and an insurrectionist is not making a mockery of the U.S. government when you're supposed to be defending law and order, and you have and you have literally broke every law on the books, known and unknown, all over the news. Him having an affair with this Stormy Daniels, and then caught on the mic talking about grabbing by the cat, and he still got elected. So what does this mean? That don't mean nothing. You could go through all that still with the president, but they're going to try to say she is a mockery of the government, even if that was true. This is what we have to go through. This is what people on both sides have to go through this. The conservatives that have some decency have to be bombarded with that. I mean, they just go from tick for tat. Because the ones on the right, I mean the left, they have their stuff too. Like this. Trump so full of shit, toilets are jealous. I mean, they can't really compare to what the people on the left be saying. I mean, this is what our kids have to look at. Trump sent troops in to distract you from this. What we gonna have next in the White House? A pimp, a gangster, a dope dealer? It's sad. It is really sad. It is really sad. Now I got this one too. This guy is going to paint the Republicans as being so love the flag. But y'all was in the Capitol beating people with the flag and flying a Confederate flag along the American flag, beating up cops. And then on the other side, they have the Democrats with foreign flags, and then burning the American flag. What does that say? Now we all know that's not true. The person that made this knows it's not true. But it's gives them something to feel good about. But one thing they can't defend is they don't bring up all the stuff that Trump has done and compared to what Biden did. Not one time did it come up that Biden cheated on his wife. They try to say he committed crimes. And they just beat up on his son, like, and all this stuff his son's dead. Wow. This is why nothing can get done, because they too busy fighting one another. Too busy fighting one another. Here's another one. The same people calling the LA riots peaceful protests called Joe Biden's sharpest attacks. Now, a lot of people may say that. But see, I was able to listen to Biden talk for a whole hour. I can't stand to listen to Trump talk for 2 minutes. But one thing, his voice, it sounds, it sounds like, you try to listen to a little 5-year-old, and he's just, I mean, listening to a grown man sound like a 5-year-old is very irritating to me. And everything he says is just shameful, dangerous, scary. Doesn't make any sense. Because you're like, wait a minute, what?
Some Jackson, Mississippi residents that live at Cheyenne Ridge Apartment say they've been believed WJTV's spiritual resident that lives there. It's frustrating because you don't know who to reach out to. All the different type of organizations, I know people have reached out.
Yeah, it's sad. Now,
after the complex refused to pay its trash bill. The numerous complaints about smelly rubbish heaps, a judge stepped in to declare the apartment complex nuisance. The city's attorney says now the city has the authority to connect the trash.
Here he got her talking about. It's amazing how they can take pictures. Here is you talking about. He's a criminal, and then you got him talking about you might be too by the time I'm done with audit. The reason why they're not saying anything is because that was not the purpose. Because all the stuff that they both do on both sides is criminal. And I feel like if you find something that any of them are doing criminal, it should be known.
The shooting is still under investigation and no suspect has been arrested. It's a moment that's gone many. A Michigan mom is in hot water for showing up in the kitchen in a room and making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich during a Zoom court appearance. Asia Cuthbert set her phone down to school.
Now,
as the judge popped on her screen.
They went as far as to name all this stuff. I'm sure this person who did this is really
CBS News Detroit spoke to Albrecht, who said she was wrong, apologized, and said she was just trying to feed her sick child. I'm CBS Look along with Esther Dillard on your home for Black News First, the Black Information Network. Now here's your watch.
It's really the Democrat Party has destroyed the DOJ. That is a definite talking point. The Democrat Party has destroyed the FBI. The Democrat Party has destroyed every blue city. Every blue city. Destroyed the CIA. Destroyed the rule of law. I have not heard one time that they took Biden to court. And they keep forgetting that Trump is out on bond right now as we speak. He is out on bond. Destroyed the Constitution. How you destroy the Constitution? Destroyed the border, the banks, the CDC, the FDA. Destroyed the children. Destroyed the trust in vaccines, trust in doctors, fair elections, liberty, free speech, the Bill of Rights, the middle class, and everything it touches. The Democratic Party has destroyed the USA. These sound like some very sad ass people. What are they living for? Their life had been reduced to living just to stick it to the Democrats. And now, and with all this, finally, somebody had the nerve to kill one. They killed a Democrat law a lawmaker in Minnesota.
Across the country on the same day, President Trump is celebrating his 70th birthday with a military parade. Also today, the 250th birthday
Why?
of the U.S. Army.
Why? Because they are terrorists. The Europeans, all white people, all of them are terrorists.
Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were both shot multiple times.
89% of them don't act on it.
We've learned Black Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's name is on the menu.
And it's a good thing.
Get the IN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeart Radio.
For 24/7 news, the Better Information Network. House Democrats in Ohio pushing bills they believe will protect citizens from gun violence. According to WKYC, the Dems say legislation is necessary.
And
1,700 people on average in the state are killed by guns each year. During a recent news conference at the State House, Representative Meredith R. Lawson said it's not about taking away guns.
I hate the fact. I didn't realize what kind of life, what kind of world I was living in. Really, until that MAGA came around. I knew it was a lot of, I knew we had a very racist past. And, excuse me, I knew about the atrocities that have been done to Black and brown people at the hands of white people, because I've seen the movies. I've seen Roots. I look at Roots quite often. But I wasn't consciously aware that it is making me feel like it's serious. That is making me feel like I might lose my life because of what I know and how I feel. Because I see a lot of these YouTube videos that you like. All they do, all these posts and all these videos basically do is work on people's feelings, not working on giving a solution. Like I said, it's time to make changes. It's time to forgive and forget. There's nothing wrong with learning about the past and giving us directions and hope. But see, what we do is we all get together, we have a common goal, just like all these No King protests that was going on. We need to take that eternally in and practice that daily. Because you notice that I noticed that it wasn't that many. We need to do more than that. We need to practice it daily. And I just want to share just a couple more images. Um, he is a convicted felon. You might be too by the time I'm done with the audits. Wow. See, they love to sow doubt. That's all they do, talk about one another. So, but us the people, we have to do more than this. We have to figure out what can we do. Since 1970, average GDP growth 2.88%. Okay, we know all that, but we still have to do more. When it comes to this kind of point, the only thing that's going to solve it is revolution. Because you see that these elected leaders is not doing anything. I mean, they take it to court, and all it's doing is just shuffling the money around. The lawyers are getting money for taking it to court. Then the judge say something, then they immediately appeal it, and that takes weeks, months, and all that. What's the point? And in the meantime, people are dying, losing their livelihood, losing their things, losing their life, their mind. You got a lot of people out here that's living in so much fear while they appealing something that everybody knows is wrong. And as far as that, what you call it, parade. The military parade that went on. I was shocked that it was that. Is that what an American military parade looks like? I done seen way better. I done seen parades that Putin just had not too long ago. Now, if you're gonna have a military parade, do it right. I done seen parades that was much coordinated. It, pitiful, pitiful, and it costs 45 to 60 million dollars. Why do everything cost so much? Millions of dollars. Why? Just like they say to fly him from the White House to Florida, $1 million. Why? Why do it cost so much? You would think this stuff would be free. I mean, I know nothing's free, but why do it cost so much? And where is all this money coming from? It's really weird. It's weird. It is really weird. And I realize why we have been so acceptable to lying, because we have been programmed and brainwashed to believe stuff because we don't now. It was a time where we couldn't really adjust. Research, but now we can. Just like my son, he bought some of these. Well, he didn't buy them, but his mom bought her these fruit roll-ups. I told him, read the directions and tell me if you see any fruit. I mean, it's just so strange how we are conditioned to believe stuff because we don't have no choice. Church choirs to trap beats, A-Town gave voice to a generation. He said the storytelling. There's a harmony that came from every single side of the city. And I made a video. This is the Black Information Network. This morning about this video that I seen, and it got me so upset. The headline was "Sterilize All Blacks." Let me see if I could find it. If I can get it on here. I hope this ain't messing up too bad. I thought if I moved in here, closer to the router. Experts say that decline may be part of the reason for a recent uptick in measles cases in some states. O'Neill says she understands the doubt some Black parents may have about vaccinating their children, and her husband also once had concerns. I think there's a lot of misinformation sometimes about vaccinations, or the that's for sure it's coming from, and also suggests potential risks to outweigh by benefits. And those benefits extend beyond individual health choice. And we have to move in the community about the reason burden the rest of the community or being sometimes they're not in a position to get too young or just, and so it's important those around us who are strong and able to do that that's like critical. That kind of community focused commitment to getting vaccination Black community and makes getting vaccines worthy of being a regular part of our children's lives. For the Black Information Network. This is BIN 1230 here on the ION Radio.
While the Army is celebrating its 250th birthday, the President is celebrating his 79th birthday with a military parade. We know things rallies are happening across the United States. Organizers emphasizing nonviolence plus research shot one kid and voting the manifesto that the sheriff and the name of the word Congresswoman on it. Is that the man is still underway? He has to have his training.
In Chicago, they asked us, comes the Chicago's team. People just aren't used to the heated intent. And you have no magic. Use everything to true. Let him so no difference. Who cares if he doesn't take them off? It's not stop. Every 30 minutes.
Information network. This is 1:30 and on the unknown radio.
Like I was saying, why are we still talking about this? It's really irritating that
After changing his name and moving to Atlanta in 1992, Tyler Perry began writing and producing stage plays that became highly was also during that time that he created his signature character in iconic Mabel Disciplines.
now this is a person that put this out. What is the point? What is the point of this? I mean, the atmosphere that we are living in right now with the tension and the constant bombardment of being in fear and trying to find our way through this mess. Why do we need to hear this? I wish I could show you um, the headline. This is the black. Okay, this is a black man. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, what kind of black man this is, but he said the blacks are um, genet- genetically dysfunctional. Slash Dr. Francis Cress Wilson debates Dr. William Shockley. Debates. What is it to debate about? It was false when they said it, and it's false now, and that's already been disputed and found to be false hundreds of years ago. Why are we still talking about it? Let's look at some of the I was going to try to look at the Uh, I can't see the replies. I wanted to see the reply. So, I mean, she has some good ideas. I got a couple of her books. Her books should be read. But now, there's a lot of other stuff that she should have, they could have been talking about.
At the location, we found approximately 9
special agent in charge of FBI Atlanta there. A search of Bartholomew and Harrelson's properties was executed.
Until we do better, I'm going to talk about this. Let me see if I can find it. I know I probably can't because I saw it yesterday where
stood ready to defend their operation with extreme violence.
Harrelson, who is black, is now facing federal drug trafficking charges. If convicted, Harrelson will serve at least 40
this black guy,
years in prison and possibly life without parole.
Lawyers for R&B's R. Kelly have filed an emergency motion seeking his release from prison.
talking about had this black person on there. About how the Latinos was taking over South Central.
And finally, we are coming up on the Juneteenth holiday. Many cities are presenting special events.
Well, y'all let them. I mean, we might as well face it. Black people are the weakest link. Not only are we at the bottom of the totem pole, we are the weakest link. And it's time to stop. It's pitiful. If we've been here that long and we're gonna let some people come from and then the black dude gonna say the Democrats have these open borders and let them come in, and they come in and take over our neighborhoods. That just shows how weak you are. We do that all the time, just like they came in and took over our neighborhoods. I'm telling you, literally overnight, you wake up and all your black businesses are gone, damn near. And you go in there and you see Arabs, Indian, Chinese. They could do that. They can do that to us. And then over there, in California, over there in the West, West Coast. You had the southern border, and they're coming up, and because they're smarter than us. They don't be out there trying to mingle with the white folk. They're not out there. Of course, you have criminals on all sides in every race, but they out there. They looking out for one another. They uplifting one another. They have a common purpose. They marry within their own race. They trying to open up businesses. They work hard. They have a whole lot better work ethic. They keep their neighborhoods clean. And most of all, they stick together. The kids respect their parents. On the other hand, we are the opposite of all that on a larger scale. And that's why they was able to come in the neighborhoods and take over. And it's not just the Democrats. All of them let them come in. They act like it's just the Democrats. The Republicans let them come in just for that purpose because they know y'all weak. And they want y'all to stay fighting each other and don't worry about what they do. And that's exactly what happened. Because they were talking about how they come in there and commit crimes on them and kick them out their neighborhood, burn their houses down. Y'all let anybody do that. You fighting the Latinos and you fighting the black gangs. Y'all chose to stay there. And y'all chose to be weak. That's why they don't. That's why they keep doing. Because we keep living in the past. Keep it about slavery. We keep bringing up race riots. We keep bringing up all this instead of looking towards the future. And if you notice all these movies that come out, just like The Matrix, after looking at that movie 2 or 3 times, I finally looked at it with my eyes open, and I picked it at the end of the movie. We better start looking at that movie. We better start looking at the planet, because we're gonna have to get like the planet of the apes. If we had been more like the planet of the apes, we'll be further ahead. Apes don't kill apes. Why we didn't say black don't kill blacks? Like this man, this black dude on this, the blacks. Why we ain't say that? Blacks don't kill blacks. Because we lost that fight and we missed that boat when we had a chance to get together, stick together, and be who we are. But what we did was we came out of slavery trying to be like white people. And that was the worst thing we could have done because it messed us up. Us black people right now is the product of that mentality. Because why in the world would you even have a debate like that? And what we not doing is we letting these so-called rich black folks further the denigration further the thought of inferiority. Because what do these rich black folks do? All their songs, and not all, but all, they make their songs and their movies denigrating black people. In the 80s, you had songs, gangster rap, demeaning women. They took up the groups because they can't stand for their white women to see five good-looking black men on the stage. That was too much for them. They couldn't take that. That's why they're doing everything they can to demean the black man now, because they can't stand to see these good-looking black men on TikTok and YouTube and knowing that their white women is looking at this. All this is out of jealousy. Because I'm telling you, the white people, it's like I'm looking at death. When you go to a party, a white person's party, they all the same color. They're all white. But you look at it, you go to a black color, a black person's party, you see all different shades. It looks alive. Just like that parade they had. You look into the audience, you see mostly black people. I mean white people. You hardly see any black in the parade and at the parade. In his audience, I didn't see any black people in that audience where the president and the vice president and all his cronies were. I didn't see any black people in the audience. I know I didn't see all, but you know what? Until black people start showing their power, that we started the civilization. We built pyramids. We started medicine, philosophy, astrology. And stop defining our history. And just like this holiday is coming up June 10th. I am not going to celebrate that holiday that is based on slaves being enslaved for 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, because nobody told them. That to me, we are just celebrating being stupid. That made no sense to me. That's just me. I think you should have just stayed in Texas where they did it. But now it's a holiday where people actually might get the day off and all that crap. To do what? That's just me. And we need to start doing something different on this so-called Black History Month. We need to start elevating our attention achievements back when Jesus Christ was talked about. And start demanding. We need to start demanding more than just acknowledging our Black history. And now all this talk about the same old one. Start talking about how the Egyptians start teaching them something and showing them something different, and have more not just talking, but showing who we really are. Okay, I did a lot of talking. Thank you for listening, and I hope this video come out right.
Is this an example of racial health disparity? A judge and a jury decide. A Black Ohio woman says a surgeon operated on her wrong leg. Alicia Foster went in for an ACL repair on her left knee.
Black power. That's what we need. That's what we all need. There ain't nothing gonna change until Black power is back on the scene. Thank you for listening.